Hello my dear students, welcome to Patil's Academy. This is Akshay Patil here. So in this video, our main focus will be on a topic called as dimensional analysis. Now, before we start studying about dimensional analysis, let us learn some of the basics which are required to build this concept. Now, I will not directly teach you dimensional analysis. So initially, I will start with the basic concept, then I will build the concept, then we'll take a lot of different examples. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to solve few of the numericals. So don't directly go to end of the video. So please listen each and every concept. Then at the end of the video, I will be solving few of the numerical. So things in physics works like this. You need to be very good with concept. Now concept is nothing but learning theory in detail. Okay, then applying those for numericals. So that we call it as a concept. So every time in physics, learning concept is very, very important. So let us start dimensional analysis concept by taking the tiny concepts. So let us start with a first term what we use in this chapter, that is physical quantity. Now let us try to understand the meaning of physical quantity. Now, physical quantity means anything which can be measured, whether it is directly or indirectly. Now, for example, let us assume I want to construct a home. Now, to construct a home, we need a particular dimension, like example, the dimension of a plot is 30-40, 40-60, 60-80. So that is how they mention the dimensions. Okay. So that dimension is nothing but the measurement. Now, physical quantity means length, mass, time, area, volume. So all these, anything, because all these we are measuring in maths in terms of 2 dimension, 3 dimension and 1 dimension. For example, length we are measuring in 1 dimension, area in 2 dimension and volume in 3 dimension. Okay. So anything which can be measured directly or indirectly is called as a physical quantity. Now, suppose let us assume I want to buy some amount of sugar. Now, to buy some amount of sugar, obviously I need to go to a shopkeeper, and let us assume, now listen this statement very carefully. For example, I want to buy a sugar and I'm going to a shopkeeper and I'm telling to him that give me a 2 liter of sugar. So that sounds quite weird. Or I'm going to pour a petrol in my 2-wheeler. I will go to a petrol bunk. Then I will tell him to pour a 2 kg of sugar. Okay, so there is some mismatch in between the quantities. So to overcome this problem, the concept of physical quantity, and with respect to that, the concept of unit is introduced in physics. Okay, now as I already mentioned the example of a construction of a home. To construct a home, we need every size exactly, and even suppose we are manufacturing the parts of a machine. To manufacture the parts of a machine, we should be very much aware about the size. Or you can take an example of this glass board on which I am writing. So even this is having a particular dimension. According to my height, I have set up this setup. So there is a particular dimension in this as well. Okay. So everything is associated with a dimension. Now I am going to write down one statement. Now listen that statement very carefully and you can observe as well. Now, for example, can I write 20 kg equal to 4 minutes? Can I write 20 kg as a 4 minute? Isn't this is quite weird to, observe such statements? I'm very much sure that you might have never came across such statements. Okay. Now to overcome such drawbacks, we are introducing a quantity called as a physical quantity. It is very, very important topic in physics. In your entire, throughout your 11th and 12th, in all the chapters, we will be using a physical quantity. Now, one more example. Suppose, let us assume I am measuring an area of a dimension. Okay. So there is one diagram whose area I am calculating. So basic formula of area is length into breadth. Okay. And dimensions of length is L, and even dimensions of breadth is L. So this L into L is L square. Now this can be written in terms of dimensional formula as m power 0, because m is not present here, L square and t power 0. Now what is this is called as? Now this is called as a dimensional formula. Now before we get into dimensional formula, we should know what is dimensions. Now to understand the concept of dimensions, what we need to do is, we need to get into the fundamental quantities. Now there are totally 7 different fundamental quantities. Now among those, in mechanics we majorly use only 3 fundamental quantities, that is mass, length and time. Apart from this, there are 4 more another fundamental quantities. So there are overall 7 fundamental quantities. Now power, you can see here is a 2 is a power and 0 is a power in mass and time quantities. Now power raised to a fundamental quantity is called as a dimensions. Now if I express that in this form, that is called as a dimensional formula. So all these basic ideas are required to understand dimensional analysis. Now let us solve one basic problem based on dimensional analysis. Now before I start solving the numerical based on dimensional analysis, let me tell you for what purpose this dimensional analysis is used. See, it is very important to verify the formula in physics. So to check the correctness of a formula, this concept of dimensional analysis is used. Okay. And yes, it is not mandatory that if formula is dimensionally correct, that means it is absolutely correct formula. There is no such rule as well, because in formula, we will be having a constants. For example, mu naught, epsilon naught. Anyway, you will be studying about this more in your 12th class. So such formula are not having any impact with respect to dimensional analysis. Okay. So I can't tell that all the formula which is dimensionally correct is not actually correct in terms of actual formula. Okay. Now, one more major advantage or application, I should say, of this dimensional analysis is it is used to convert one system of unit into another system of unit. So today's video is all about that application. Now to make you understand that application, I have taken through all these basics. Okay. Now see, it is very easy to convert 1 kg to gram, that is I can write it as 1,000 gram. Similarly, 1 meter is 100 centimeter. Now there are other physical quantities in physics, like there is a density, there is other physical quantities like surface tension, viscosity. Okay, as your 11th class progresses, you will come to know about all these terms. So all those are there. So if I suppose we'll take one more example of energy. So suppose energy unit I want to convert from one unit to another unit. So let us get into those units. So what are those units? So suppose let us assume I am measuring length, mass and time. Now to measure a length, we can measure it in a centimeter, we can measure it in a foot, we can measure it in a meter. Mass, we can measure it in a gram, we can also measure it in a kg, we can also measure it in a pound. And time, we can also measure time. See, time, every time, from the beginning they started measuring in second itself. So this system of measuring the 3 fundamental quantities which are repeatedly used in mechanics is called as a CGS system. So this is one system. And similarly, we have a FPS system and we have a MKS system. Now this MKS system is also called as a SI unit, which is internationally accepted. Now, why do we need to do all this? See, if you don't check the dimensionality of an equation or any parameter given, then there will be a huge problem. See, what might happen? Let us assume there is a physician who is doing experiment in India, and let us assume there is one more physician who is doing the same experiment in Pakistan. Okay. Now, a physician who is doing the experiment in India who is measuring a length in meter, whereas a physician who is doing the experiment in Pakistan is doing the measurement of length, let us assume he is doing in centimeter. So undoubtedly they both will end up with a different answer. For example, let us assume he got 2 meter, and even one more physician done the experiment, he got 200 centimeter. And let us assume they forgot to mention the units. Now it is very clear that 2 is not equal to 200 in physics. So any physical quantity, so I will be solving the numerical on this. So few more basics related to this. So any physical quantity, if I tell that physical quantity is x, okay, suppose I am measuring a length and length comes out to be 4 meter. So this length, area, volume, whatever, let us assume that is in x value. And this 4 is nothing but the numerical number, okay, and this might be in meter, centimeter or any other way, okay. So let us call that as a unit. So any physical quantity is represented as x equal to n into u, okay. Now let us assume I am measuring length in centimeter now, okay. See, same parameter, I am not measuring the one more physical quantity. If I am measuring length in first case, I am measuring the length in second case as well, but with a different unit, okay. Now, so let me call first scenario as n1 u1, and in second scenario, let me call it as equation 1, and in second scenario, I am measuring a length, again I am measuring a length, but with a different units, okay. For example, 1 meter is 100 centimeters, so this will become a 400. So we can see this is different numerical number and this is different numerical number. So for that, I will take it as a n2, and unit is meter, and in second scenario, unit is centimeter. So I will call it as a u2. Call this as equation 2. Now I will compare equation 1 and 2. So LHS is same, so I can compare the RHS. So I will get a conclusion that n1 u1 equal to n2 u2. Okay. Now, to measure this quantity of length, let us assume I am representing it in dimensions. Okay. Now to represent the things in dimensions, we take a help of fundamental quantities, that is m, l, t. For first equation, let me assume the mlt is as m1, l1 and t1. For second parameter where I am changing the unit, let me take it as a m2, l2 and t2. Okay. Now n1 u1 equal to n2 u2. So n2 becomes n1 into u1 divided by n2. Okay. Oh, sorry. So n2 becomes n1 u1 divided by u2. Okay. So it will become u2. So if you want to find out a value from one system to another system, you will be using this formula. Okay. Now how to get into that formula and all that, I will be explaining you by taking an example of one formula. Okay. Now let us assume we are solving on numerical. Okay. Now to solve that numerical, I will take one simple example. So question is convert 10 joules into erg. Okay. So this is the CGS unit of work and this is the SI unit of work. You might have been learnt in your lower grades already. Okay. So I'm converting a parameter from SI unit to CGS unit, and the question says by using dimensional analysis. So let us assume I'm doing it by using a dimensional analysis. Okay. Now it is very important question. So we will see how exactly we will be converting now by using all these basics. Okay. Let us try to start solving this problem. Okay. Okay. Now this is the problem we will be solving now. Convert 10 joules. So let us assume that 10 is nothing but the N1, and we know that joule is the SI unit of work done, or even you can call it as energy. So work done is given by force into displacement. Let us try to find out the dimensions of this initially. So force dimensional formula is mlt minus 2. Yeah. So obviously if you want to convert from one unit to another unit, you should have basics related to the dimensions, and displacement is L. So I can tell that dimensional formula of the given question is mlt minus 2, that is work done. So this you need to compare with m power a, l power b and t power c. So if I compare, I will get the value of ABC. Okay. So a in place of a, if nothing is there, 1 will be there. Okay. So here L into L will become L square. Okay. A is 1, B is 2 and C is minus 2. Okay. Now this joule which is in SI unit, that to 10 joules we are converting into erg. Now erg is the CGS unit of work done. Okay. So I will make two columns. One is of SI unit and one more is of CGS unit. Okay. So in SI unit I will call the things as M1, L1 and T1, and in CGS I am going to call it as M2, L2 and T2. Okay. Now SI unit of mass is kg. For 1 I will take a reference, length is meter and time is seconds. Whereas in CGS unit, mass is measured in gram, length is measured in centimeter and time is measured in second. Okay. So I have N1, so I need to calculate N2. Okay. That is how much, that is 10 joules will get converted into erg. So how much is 10 joules value in erg? That is from SI we are converting to CGS by using a dimensional analysis. Okay. So the values are in front of me. ABC values I got by dimensional formula. Okay. Now let us take the formula and directly try to solve. So by using this data I will start solving here. The formula is N2 equals N1 into M1 by M2 to the power A. So all the mass parameters here, and L1 by L2 to the power of B, and T1 by T2 to the power C. Okay. Now N1, we are converting 10 joules. So N1 will be 10. So M1, L1, T1 are the SI unit values. So M1 is 1 kg and L1 is 1 meter. T1 is a second. Okay, let me substitute the denominator values now in from CGS. So M2 is 1 gram and L2 is 1 centimeter. Now T2 is 1 second. Powers are ABC. So let me substitute the ABC values. A is 1, B is 2 and C is minus 2. Now it is just a calculation part. You just need to put the value and get the answer. Okay. Now to find out that N2 equals 10 as it is. Now don't cancel gram with gram, okay, because one is in SI and one more is in CGS. So you have to convert gram to kg. So numerator values, let me start converting in the form of denominator so that I can cancel the terms. For example, 1 kg is 1000 gram. 1000 can be written as 10 power 3 divided by gram to the power 1, and 1 meter is 100 centimeter, that is 10 square centimeter divided by centimeter as it is. Okay. And the power 2 as it is. Anyway, second will get cancelled. If not, both are getting cancelled, only 1 to the power of minus 2. Okay, that is nothing but the 1. Okay. Now, so gram and gram will get cancelled. So 10 into 10 cube power 1 is 10 cube into. Now this is in the form of a power m whole power n. That is a power m into n. So 2 into 2 is 10 power 4. Okay. Now, how 1 power minus 2 is 1? Let me just quickly explain that. See. 1 to the power of minus 2 can be written as 1 to the power of minus 1 the whole square. See, because a power m whole power n, I am just using law of indices, is a power m into n. So minus 1 into 2 is minus 2. Now we know that in maths, x power minus 1 can be written as 1 by x. Okay. So 1 to the power of minus 1 can be written as 1 by 1. So 1 by 1 whole square is nothing but 1. Okay. So that is how the value 1 is coming. So, if bases are same, I can add the powers. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. So, 10 joules is equal to 10 to the power of 8 ERG. Because I have started calculating by considering the value of joule in 10 joules, which is a given data. Okay. So, what does that mean? If 10 joule comes out to be 10 to the power of 8 ERG, then how much will be 1 joule value in ERG? Okay. So that if I convert, it will be like in the form of converting into standard. So please tell me the end answer by maybe you can just roughly calculate, or just by observing if you can calculate. Okay. And tell me the answer in comment section. And if you want such more videos which make your foundation more clear, please tell me through comment section. Thank you so much for your valuable time.